What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Taste Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And quick reminder, this is your last week to be playing Vermintide, our game of the month. And for PlayStation Plus, which will be this Friday, Lovers in Dangerous Space Time and Drawn to Death come back at the end of the week. We'll be talking about those games. Actually, we'll be talking about Vermintide next week for Tastecast, but this Friday will be Plus Club. But with that, we have 5 bits of news, so let's get into it.
So, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware of now, Nintendo has ceased production of the NES Classic edition. But right after that, rumors going around that there is a Super Nintendo Classic edition coming out that should be available this holiday season. I could probably speculate how you feel about this, but how do we feel about this, and what games would you like to see on it?
Well, it's funny because we speculated about this earlier on. As soon as they said that the NES wasn't going to be continued any longer, I think I actually was the one that was saying like it'd be funny if they were stopping production to start production on a new one, and then this came out. So that's really interesting. I'm actually more excited for this than I am for the other one.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo was more impactful for me as I grew up. I don't know. I'd like to see all the classics. I mean, specifically like Super Mario World and Legend of Zelda, and I mean, really, as long as they nail all like the main games, everybody's gonna be wanting from it. It's gonna sell no matter what. It will be cool to kind of have those controllers again,
Right.
And have a miniature Super Nintendo. So yeah, I'm actually excited for this more so than the last one.
Yeah, I definitely think this is more exciting than the NES myself. I still don't think I'm the right customer for it, but
Yeah, I don't know if I'll pick one up.
I do think it's cool, and I really hope that they can get. Even though I don't know if they'd have licensing problems with it, but I'd love to see like the old Square titles be on there. So like Final Fantasies and Chrono Trigger, even like I think Donkey Kong Country would be a good one to
that'd be
throw
cool.
on there too. So, but
Definitely.
yeah, no, I think it's smart of them if the speculation or the rumor is true, and it is going to come out for holiday season. Just hopefully they learn their lesson with the last one, though. Nintendo has a history of underproducing things, so
Yeah, I hope they make enough to meet demand. I know they'll leak them out slowly because they like doing that with all their consoles. But yeah, hopefully if they want to make a lot of money, make plenty of them. I guarantee they'll all sell.
oh yeah.
I know a lot of people bought like multiple of them just to sell them, resell them to other people. So because of demand, which sucks. So yeah, just make enough for everybody. Second bit of news: Steep is getting a new DLC called Winterfest. That's gonna have the craziest in-game snow sports festival ever organized. It will introduce a new mode of traversal, Winter Sled, and which will be the 5th type, I believe. And there's going to be 21 wacky new challenges and 10 more costumes to collect, among a bunch of other stuff. This is actually coming out after the free DLC that was Alaska, a whole new area to explore. I've been playing a little bit. What do you think about them releasing a DLC that's or an expansion that essentially is just more customization, but adding a whole new way to play the game?
Well, I think if they released an area for free, then doing stuff like this for the money aspect, I don't really see a big issue with that. I would obviously, as most people, I'm sure, would prefer it all to be free, but companies need to make money. I do think it's crazy how much they're supporting this game. I didn't expect it to get that kind of backing. So.
Well, I think it's Ubisoft's like new thing because I mean, ever since Siege came out, they didn't really plan on extending the production of DLCs and support for that game, and now they're doing a whole other year. So I think they're maybe embracing supporting games longer, which is smart and something that we've seen in indie developed games for years now. So it's kind of cool to see AAA developers doing that. I do think it's interesting that they released the Alaska DLC for free. I believe it was supposed to come out with the game when it came out, so I think that's why they did it.
Gotcha.
But adding, a bunch of new stuff to do and a new way to play the game on a new map, I think will get people like myself. I have Steep. I actually enjoy it. To come back and play it. I mean, depending on how much it's going to cost, I think it says the season pass is $20. So. Oh, and by itself will be $12. For $12, I would definitely buy this. It seems like a fair price to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit above like smaller produced or company produced games, but not quite, Activision and EA price DLC. So
Yeah, I was expecting about $15, so it being a little less than that is about what I expected.
I mean, hell, the mountain one for Forza was 20, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's like a full-on like new area with a shitload of stuff.
No, I know. I'm just saying price wise.
Yeah.
I had kind of thought that was a little steep. I was hoping it would be 15.
Steep.
But I don't know. As far as this game goes, though, it's cool. I'm glad they're still supporting it, and hopefully they have more ideas for the future. So.
Yeah, I'd like to see them create. I didn't think they were gonna make a new thing to ride in the game. I actually, when I first started playing the game, thought it'd be kind of cool if they added like snowmobiles or something like that later in the game. So if they're doing this, it shows that they might do that, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other type of snow vehicles you could add to the game, but I mean they got that fucking paraglider thing, which I never would have assumed would be a mountain sport, but it is, I guess. So, yep, they're good news.
So Ubisoft is opening 2 new studios, I believe. One of them is going to be in charge of making a AAA game. No word on what that is yet. It is the team that assisted on For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege. So they're getting their own studio. They're making their own game, and then the other studio, I believe, is made from people who worked on games like what's the dance one called?
Just Dance?
Yeah, Just Dance and Steep, actually. But no word on what they're going to be working on at all. This also is kind of a big move for them just because they're still kind of in that area where they might be bought out by Vivendi. So it's a kind of I think, a gamble to be spending money. Yeah. How do you feel?
I think I feel good about it. It's cool to see when we're seeing so many places, not as bad as it used to be, but so many developers disappearing, going under, Crytek, and all their subsidiaries are all like all over the place. It's cool to see somebody actually growing. I mean, if you're creating 2 new studios, obviously based off of the success of like the team that did Siege and For Honor, it reminds me of like when a director directs a movie and he like shows that he can make a movie that can make a lot of money. They allow them to do whatever the fuck they want after that. And if they fuck up, they're not getting that chance again. This reminds me of that. It seems like because they did such a good job on both those properties that now they might have freedom to make their own game, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
It's just cool that they're getting their own studio, and likewise with the other guys. Shows growth, shows that they're feeling confident. The Vivendi thing I didn't think about too much until you mentioned that. That is really interesting. That could come back and bite them in the ass, potentially, depending on how that goes. But obviously they're feeling confident enough if they're going to be opening up 2 new studios. That's not cheap.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I almost feel like it's an aggressive move to make sure that they can't be bought out. Almost. I mean, I hate to focus on the Vivendi thing too much because I guarantee these studios, because they have been making good games, deserve the shot. But I also think Ubisoft is trying really hard not to get put in that position. I know the CEO said if Vivendi does buy it out, he would step down. He doesn't want to work for Vivendi-owned Ubisoft. So
that's interesting.
He said it just wouldn't be the same company anymore, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because Ubisoft, though, they have their ups and downs, like we've said a million times, they're very experimental, which is cool.
Yeah.
We don't get that a lot.
They're the most experimental of the AAA companies, the big ones.
Yeah.
The big 3.
So I can't wait to hear what's coming out of these studios. Not so much the second one for me, just because I didn't play Just Dance, and Steep's a cool idea, but like not necessarily my type of game. But they could surprise us. As far as the other one, they made For Honor and Rainbow Six. I mean, those are 2 super well-made competitive games. So
Well, they both also share a theme. They're both meant for the esports competitive scene. So I'm assuming whatever third game they make, either they're going to go that route again for the financial aspect, or they might get a chance to create a whole new like story-driven IP. Because obviously Ubisoft is really big on that too, with Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell and shit.
Well, I think they could do it too. Seeing the two games, I mean, like For Honor, for example, is a gorgeous game. Like, I have not seen a game of that type look that good. So
yeah, no, it's a cool game. I just not really too into the competitive aspect of it, which is weird for me.
I'm not either.
As a guy who likes competitive stuff.
But there's a lot there that I like. It's just when it comes down to the core gameplay.
Well, the thing too that you can look at both those games is they both obviously Siege is a shooter, but the way it's set up is very much not in line with other shooters. They had a really cool idea that was a gamble and it worked out for them. It didn't work out when it first came out. It was like a slow burn. And then For Honor is a completely original idea for what it is, especially on a AAA game. Obviously, there's some games like Chivalry and shit that came out that's similar to it, but the way it's set up is definitely, it shows that those guys have a lot of good ideas, a lot of things floating around. So it'll be really cool to see whatever comes next after that.
Yeah.
And the fourth bit of news, Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty is confirmed to be a World War II shooter. This was speculated for a while. Sledgehammer Games has come out and said that that's the case. So we know that, and that's cool in my opinion. But there's a couple leaks that came out through marketing materials that show that there is going to be a cooperative campaign in the game. You're going to be landing in Normandy on D-Day, which is something I actually said I wanted to see, so I'm fucking excited about that. And battling across Europe in iconic locations in history's most monumental war. Let's see. Also, they say that players will also enjoy exciting new ways to interact and socialize with friends in the Call of Duty community for the multiplayer. And there's a private beta coming out. All the same shit you'd assume. But I think the big news here is it's going to have cooperative campaign. If the rumor's correct, which I don't. These rumors are always correct.
That's actually World War II.
That's actually World War II, yeah. So what do you think about revisiting World War II in modern day and co-op?
Definitely be cool to see a console modern day World War II game. I hope that it still feels like a World War II game and is not too hyper. I really hope they slow that down a little bit. Obviously, they got to have some speed for competitive sake. Otherwise, people are going to lose interest. But
they have said multiple times they're taking it back to its roots or whatever. And this Sledgehammer game, so they weren't really there for the roots, but there is definitely an idea of what the roots are, and that is the boots on the ground, running around shooting people, no jump jets, no weird shit.
I think they have a chance to get some older fans back too with this idea, just because there are people who played up until about Modern Warfare 2, and then they just kind of lost interest because it just started getting really crazy.
As long as they do it correctly and show the respect for World War II without making it fucking weird, not having some weird soundtrack, get that, do what Battlefield 1 did, have an amazing soundtrack, follow actual stories from World War II like Call of Duty used to do. And like I said, I have to emphasize just the respect to it, because like the new Call of Duties are like Michael Bay movies, and they're fun and they're cool and there's explosions and shit. But if you're going to be going back to World War II, it's a real thing, and you're going to lose me if I'm sure many other people, if you don't take that serious. I actually, when we talked about this, when we heard that they might be going back to World War II, I was hoping, for a long time, Allied Assault did D-Day. And that's so remembered by everyone who played that game, but no one else would touch D-Day after that. It's like, they did it so well, we're going to do all the other stuff. And I was like, take a chance. Fucking, it's been a long time, since 2017. Let's do D-Day again. So I'm excited to see how they do that, especially with how graphics look. I guess they also said they emphasize that the game's going to look like really realistic, I guess. So as realistic as a game can look, I guess. But I'm actually really excited because I want to play the single player. Like, it's weird. I want to play the single player in this really bad. I want to experience those battles. I'm a huge history buff. But being able to do that with somebody, if the co-op is real, that's fucking awesome. I'm really excited for that. All they have to do to sweeten that for me is add some kind of progression unlocking in that. Nothing too crazy. And then another thing I'm actually curious about too is in the multiplayer, I'm wondering how they're going to handle kill streaks and shit. Because Call of Duty started doing that with Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So you can call in like bombs and all this weird shit. In World War II, I guess World at War did it, but I'm curious on how crazy they're going to get with that. 'Cause you can't have like drones and shit.
No, but they could bring back stuff like dogs. You could have it, an area, bombed from the coast or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
they have options there, but yeah, they're not gonna have like drones or anything like that. So, I'm not gonna say I'm excited, but I'm curious about this one just because it is different from what they've been doing for the last who knows how many years at this point, and plus. I enjoyed the co-op in Black Ops 3, so if they can do something even similar to that, where it is worth, replaying, and like you said, having a sense of progression to your character, then it might be something I pick up. But otherwise, I'm sure, I'll see you guys play it. So.
Well, I mean, you picked up Black Ops 3, which was weird because you haven't bought a Call of Duty in a long time, and the campaign was really fun. We replayed it like twice, and I'd probably play it again if we ever got people around to do it again. So yeah, if there's anything even similar to that, I would hope it'd be good enough for you to pick up because that is something that interests you versus like, oh, you can play online versus people. Well, of course you can. You can do that in every fucking game.
I'd also like to see them bring out a game mode that obviously they haven't done yet. Something new that'd be kind of interesting. I know, ideas are going to be kind of hard to come by in that department, but I'd like to be surprised. So
I just want a fucking slowed down search and destroy that is how it should be, not all fast paced and crazy and people running on walls and flying over fucking buildings and shit.
Right.
Because I miss Black Ops, the original, playing search and destroy on hardcore.
Well, and you have Titanfall 2 for all the acrobatic shit. So.
Yeah, for me, Titanfall 2 kind of dethroned Black Ops 3. I was really enjoying that game, and I still like it a lot, but Titanfall 2, I still find myself coming back to. So for me, they kind of got the market cornered on that kind of hyperactivity. And obviously, Infinite Warfare didn't do what they wanted to do, so it's smart there. Take a step back from that future shit on the next game, because we don't need every Call of Duty to be fucking futuristic.
Right.
It's boring. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for it.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, good. Last bit of news.
So 6 years ago, I believe, a game called Two Worlds 2 came out, and coming up soon for PC, it is getting an expansion now. They are doing a 2 DLCs for $10 each, or you can get them standalone for $15 instead. They're supposed to be 10+ hour adventures, so almost the size of the game itself. And major HD engine update, new areas, enemies, weapons, and achievements. I guess they're also going to be making a Two Worlds 3.
Yeah, they announced that a while back, which is already really interesting to hear because Two Worlds and Two Worlds 2 didn't do that well, even though there is a core fan base for those games.
Yeah.
I know Josh is actually really into them. I think he's into number 2. I don't think he's too into the first one. He bought both of them, though. But yeah, if you go into like even on like Reddit or whatever, there's people who actually say positive things about them. I played them. I wasn't too into them. But if they can improve upon it with the third one, who am I to say don't do it? Fucking, I hope it comes out. I hope it's awesome. But with this, that's fucking insane that the game came out 6 years ago. And obviously they got the juices flowing because they're working on a whole new game. But it's really interesting that they're working on a whole new game. And they went, well, we can put some new stuff with Two Worlds 2, which is smart because first off, it's exciting for anyone who actually really liked the game.
Mm-hmm.
If I was super into this game and I played it 6 years ago and I found out there's a whole new fucking chunk of content coming out for it, I would definitely fucking pick it up and I'd play it again.
Oh yeah,
because it'd be awesome to revisit a game that I like loved 6 years ago. But also it gets people talking about the series again. So on like a advertising standpoint, it's smart. Even people who weren't into the game, their friend might be into it and be like, oh, I'm playing the expansion for Two Worlds 2. Did you ever play that game? And they're like, no. And then fucking they show them, all the new shit with the new engine or HD shit. It could get people into it who might have not been.
Well, and like you said, it's crazy that like this far out that they're actually releasing content for the game again. The only stuff like that I've ever even seen was when the Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale games got their rights got given to someone else, and then they released their own expansions for those games and stuff. But this is actually like the original guys, so
Yeah, it's
it's a
weird.
pretty rare circumstance. It's very exciting for anyone who's a fan of the series. I've never played them, so I have no idea. But I know that, I guess as an example, you know, if a game that I liked from 5-6 years ago, and they're like, hey, we're releasing more content for it, you know, with the exceptions of Borderlands 2, I'd be stoked.
Well, I think that'd be the only way I could play Borderlands 2 again, is if they release new stuff for it. But at this point, I'm like, just fucking make the third one.
Well, and that's exactly it. And in this case, obviously, they're not. Well, they might be around the same size company. I don't know. Gearbox is pretty big now, but
Surprisingly, with
yeah.
all the failures they've made.
But they made a shit ton of money at Borderlands, so
Yep. That's where the money came from.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this other than it's just really kind of neat. I'm curious to see how it's received, just because how long it's been, like how much like are they going to be still in tune with that? So
Well, that's the thing that's really interesting to me. Is like, for me, I thought Two Worlds was dead as a series.
yeah,
So to hear they're making another game, I'm like, oh wow, it's interesting. And then to hear they're expanding their game that's existed for a while now is really interesting. I don't know if I will go out and buy it, but I do want to see what it looks like, and I want to see what they added, because 6 years is a long time for them to kind of see where games have gone and what they can do now. Like, I wonder if it's going to like kind of change the game up, because it'd be really interesting to see that jump in mindset after 6 years.
are these games? Do you know if they're chronological story wise? Like, there's a story that continues through.
I think they are.
So this could just literally also be like
A bridge.
a bridge, exactly. For they might have this idea for 3, and they might have a place where they want to start, but they're like, well, there's going to be unanswered questions. So
Yeah, maybe Two Worlds 2 ended in a weird way or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't sure if they're going to be able to make a third one. That's a good point. I mean, we haven't played it, so we don't fucking know.
No, I'm just speculating.
But if that were the case, that'd be a really smart way to kind of, even if they're going in one direction with that game, and then the new game, they have a whole new idea, but it doesn't really quite make sense. They can kind of connect the dots with this.
Well, it's like a weird example, but like you've had me sit down and watch Berserk recently.
Mhm.
The original anime came out a long, long time ago,
90s.
and then they were they made the movies, but they essentially bridge into the new anime. But if you went from the old show to the new show, there's stuff you're gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they don't connect
So
the same way as the movies
so
do.
it could be the same kind of deal. So.
Yeah. I think it's really cool, though. Like I said, I'm probably not going to pick it up myself unless it's just amazing looking. But it's awesome, and I'm excited for anybody who likes those games to get more content. I'm hoping. Well, I don't know if Josh still owns them or not, but well, it's on PC.
PC
so,
only.
That's interesting. But it's probably because they came out on 360, so they probably can't get the rights or the servers.
They might have a different publisher.
Yeah.
On console, I know companies have to do that sometimes. PC and console have different publishers, so they might not have the rights, like you said. Plus, you said 360.
I think it came out on 360.
If it's 360, I don't think they're trying to release anything on something that's probably not going to be up for that much longer. So
it's really interesting. It's fucking crazy that it's even coming out for anything at all. But yeah, I think it's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check me out right here on this channel. I'm going to be streaming, so I've been doing it. Also, I might start doing that in place of TLG Plays. Let me know in the comments on those videos if you like that format. If you want me to go back and do the TLG Plays thing, I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching, guys. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Till the next episode, which will be later this week. Have a good week, guys, and take it easy.